Ladies and gentlemen, the recent assassination attempt on former US President Donald Trump has sent shockwaves globally, spotlighting the dangerous consequences of polarizing rhetoric. One of the most credible voices in the security spectrum, former UP DGP Dr. Vikram Singh, warns of the alarming parallels between America's volatile political landscape and the threatening language against Prime Minister Narendra Modi in India. He condemned the political normalization of inciting statements, especially from the members of the Congress party, a party that tragically lost two of its tallest leaders to violence. Not only this, viewers, there's a pattern to the negative narrative peddled by a motivated and globally funded lobby that constantly demonizes Prime Minister Narendra Modi and his leadership. This cannot be brushed under the carpet anymore, as the BJP has underscored the dangers of this happening. Listen in to the war of words.
मोदी जी के लिए जिन लोगों ने बोटी बोटी काटने से शब्दों का प्रयोग किया, वो दूसरी पार्टी से लाकर आज कांग्रेस पार्टी के सांसद बन चुके हैं। और मैं ये भी बात दुख के साथ और गंभीरता के साथ कहना चाहूंगा, किसी नेता के लिए मौत के शब्द का प्रयोग सबसे पहले 2007 में सोनिया गांधी जी ने मौत के सौदागर शब्द के रूप में किया था। हमने कभी, जब आपातकाल में संविधान की हत्या हो गई थी, तब भी कभी श्रीमती इंदिरा गांधी जी की मौत की कामना या मौत जैसे शब्द का प्रयोग नहीं किया था।
These allegations are coming from BJP today because BJP feels threatened by the Congress. They know that the next government is going to be a Congress government. And when you target Congress, the target has to be the leadership. I can't think of either Sonia ji, Rahul ji preaching violence. If at all anybody is preaching violence today in the country, it's the BJP.
You're watching the News Hour at 9, debate number 2 on Times Now, Super Prime Time.
And joining the debate with Shehzad Poonawala, Abbas Haider and Tehseen Poonawala is Sushant Sareen, Senior Fellow at the ORF. But my first question goes to Dr. Vikram Singh, former DGP of Uttar Pradesh and the man who authored that article that appeared in the Indian Express this morning. And Vikram Singh ji, the question is simply this, that when you write, why were you compelled to write something like this? Are you seeing any real dangers when you write this, or are we letting our imagination work over time?
As a concerned Indian citizen, I was very concerned about the tone and tenor of the political discourse. It was getting to be more acrimonious, toxic, and in extremely poor taste in recent months. I thought that what had happened in the US is likely to happen in India because of the heated exchanges, the hitting below the belt syndrome that has cropped up recently. And it had a beginning maybe some years ago, but now it has reached a crescendo. To say that the Prime Minister would be chased by the youth and he will be thrashed, and to say that the people are no longer scared of him because something was thrown at his cavalcade. As also Subodh Kant Sahai, the former State Home Minister, saying that he is akin to Adolf Hitler and he will meet the same gory end as that of Hitler. Well, this was an absolutely pedestrian, crass, and just unmentionable. So I thought that perhaps since we live in an ecosystem and that ecosystem is being poisoned, slow poison, not slow poison, but poisoned deliberately. So the time has come that if we have a repeat of something like what happened to Donald Trump in USA, if something were to happen, that will be a tragedy. But therefore, why not do a bit of loud thinking?
No. So you're doing the loud thinking, Singh Saab. But the question is, why are you singling out the Congress? Because you specifically mentioned the Congress party, despite the fact that they've lost two of their senior leaders. Why are you only targeting the Congress?
It is when I say that I have given examples, and when I say that anyone who has transgressed the rule of law, it means anyone, whether of one party or of the other party. As a person who has no political ambition and has no political inclinations, I would say anyone breaking the rule of law needs to be taken to task, and that would include people right across the party. But as of now, the aggressor, and the ball seems to be in the court of those whom I have mentioned.
Well, Tehseen Poonawala, specifically Rahul Gandhi saying ye Modi ghar se niklega, and these statements are made in the public domain. They are there in the public domain from February 2023. मोदी निकलेगा तो इसको देश का युवा डंडे से मारेगा. That's the language used, and इन्होंने पूरे देश पे केरोसिन छिड़का है when he went abroad. Everybody knows the boti comment, and Imran Masood is today a member of parliament. It is the mainstreaming of this kind of violence that people are now looking at simply because it's actually happened in the United States of America. What stops it from happening here?
Except Navika ji, it's already happened. Rahul Gandhi ji and Priyanka Gandhi ji's father, martyr Prime Minister Rajiv Gandhi, and martyr grandmother Indira Gandhi ji gave their life and martyrdom for this great nation of ours. The same Priyanka Gandhi, granddaughter of Indira ji and Rajiv ji, daughter of Rajiv ji, an SPG protectee, when her security was taken away, she has the same security cover as the Honorable Home Minister and Defense Minister of India. She was asked to vacate her house in the middle of COVID. This is how the government cares about security, by changing a law. The Prime Minister's security is being trifled by none other than his security agencies and in the BJP. Dr. Navlaka, for whom I have no love lost, left loonies, I dislike the left, was accused of assassinating our Honorable Prime Minister. Evidence was planted. Letter was planted. Not only is that case taken back, Gautam Navlaka is out on bail. This is how they play the Prime Minister's security. When the Prime Minister's cavalcade stopped in Punjab, you and I were unanimous on TV, as was I with Prashant Sareen.
But with due respect, Rajiv Gandhi, Indira Gandhi were martyred. They were martyred, but they were not martyred because a political party was hurling abuses at them. They were not martyred because of that. They were martyred, an unfortunate loss for this country, and which is why there should be more responsibility.
I do not yield. I request you not to interrupt me. I do not yield. Please give me the courtesy.
You can carry on. You can carry on for the rest of the show.
I request you. This is a very important point I'm making. I request you. Please. The Prime Minister's cavalcade was stuck in Punjab on a flyover, few kilometers away from the Pakistan border, in range with Pakistan's firing. The matter went to the Supreme Court. I don't know why Supreme Court has to look into it. So Shant will explain this. The Supreme Court look into it. SPG and the Punjab police were held guilty. Punjab police fired their SP. The DGP should have also gone. I agree to that. SPG did nothing. Their pilot car did nothing. Their communications system failed.
You can go on. I think you need to be a lecturer in a college. The amount of time you are taking in making a simple point, Tehseen. But Shehzad Poonawala, their only grouse is that you've taken away the bungalows of Priyanka Gandhi Vadra and Rahul Gandhi.
And you put the Prime Minister's
I did not interrupt, and there's very limited time. Let me make my points. First of all, I'm just, it's a point of irony that America is credited to be the greatest democracy. The leader of opposition or the presidential candidate is under attack there. And in this country where the Loktantrika index is falling every day, the leader of opposition can pretty much go with his sister and play with ice balls in Kashmir. These are the two contrasting pictures. Having said that, the question today is only this, that on the side of the non-right, that is the left Islamo-woke radical cabal, is a section of people who use dehumanizing, demonizing and delegitimizing language that goes much beyond criticism of the actions or conduct of a political entity and go and start dehumanizing him to the extent that they subject him to complete elimination in their political thought process, which that has been done by the Congress party time and again. Hitler ki maut marega, dash dash ki maut marega, kabr khudegi. And it has been done across the board against right-wing leaders from Farage to Trump to Modi. कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन खत्म हो जाएगा ये लोग आएंगे तो, संविधान खत्म हो जाएगा, इलेक्शंस बंद हो जाएंगे. Same rhetoric used there, same rhetoric used here, same script, different countries. The point is that even the BJP may have attacked Now you got the example of Indira Ji and Rajiv Ji. Who does not say that they have sacrificed their life? But was BJP leaders ever saying that they should be subjected to Hitler ki maut? Not even after emergency, Navika. That is the most valid point you made. Even after emergency, no BJP or Sansang leader said that Indira should die, etc., 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 death. And today, look at the manner in which dehumanizing of not just the BJP, but while dehumanizing BJP and right-wing leaders, you dehumanize the entire Hindu community. You say Hindu hinsak hai. This is the level of dehumanizing behavior that the left engages in.
So, Sareen, as Indians, should we worry? Because is it really now a real danger, given the fact that, as Shehzad puts it, there is dehumanizing and the rhetoric and the level to which it has gone from maut ka saudagar, it's gone down to Modi teri kabr khudegi, Hitler ki maut marega, boti kar denge. That kind of a violent expression for the Prime Minister, does it put him in harm's way?
I think it does, Navika, and I'll tell you why. And it's not just the Prime Minister. I think this is something which is true for people across the political spectrum. If this kind of language, this kind of stridency, this kind of horrific kind of violent language is normalized, it endangers everybody. And I think what has happened to Donald Trump is a kind of a wake-up call for all of us. Look, we are not living in normal times. We are living in very strident, times in which there's a lot of acrimony which is taking place. And if this is a time, please also remember, you have virtually every day, you have these Khalistani elements living under the patronage of the CIA and the American establishment, hurling death threats to the Indian Prime Minister virtually on a daily basis. There is no let or hindrance by the Americans to stop that because it's freedom of speech. The same thing is happening in Canada and other parts of the world. One. Number two, if you look at some of the jihadist chat rooms and stuff like that, you will see the kind of poisonous stuff which is coming out against the Prime Minister and some of his senior colleagues. There is a real and present danger. Now, in this climate, when you have this kind of language, and as Shehzad very correctly puts it, when you normalize violence against a political leader, and I'm saying this across the political board, it's not just the Prime Minister, he might be a major target, but it's just as well applicable to other people. For example, if you say the same kind of stuff against Rahul Gandhi, I may or may not like him, but there is a certain red line which people should not cross. If you start doing it with Rahul Gandhi, it puts him in the crosshairs. If you do it against Akhilesh, or you do it against Stalin, or you do it against anybody else, you are putting them in the crosshairs. This language needs to be avoided. It needs to be discouraged. People need to crack down. The state needs to crack down on people who are indulging in this in the social media sphere and in other forums.
Well, Abbas Haider, as the political class, at least in public domain, such statements made against anybody, as Sushant Sareen says, but more so against political leaders, especially somebody who's the head of state, are we crossing the red line? Isn't it a question that we need to ask ourselves? And shouldn't leaders of political parties bring some sense of normalcy, in their own cadre when rhetoric and whipped up anger is brought out like this?
Normalcy, civility. Bring civility into your rhetoric.
Navika ji, we are against and we have always condemned any form of physical assault or violent expression against any political leader or anybody for that matter. But the matter of the fact, Navika ji, I believe, I truly agree with you that the PM's security of utmost importance for the country. But at the same time, Navika ji, since the time the Special Protection Group has been formed in 1985, no major lapses in security of any SPG protectee has ever happened. In 1991, when Mr. Rajiv Gandhi was assassinated, he was not a SPG protectee at that time. First thing. Second thing, Navika ji, at the same time, security of every citizen is also important. Is also. No, he was the former Prime Minister. He was not given SPG protection.
Absolutely, you're right. You're right at that time. But slipping judgment. But once again, when it happens in Punjab for Prime Minister Narendra Modi, and then it happens again when a shoe is flung at the cavalcade of the Prime Minister in Banaras. And it is normalized. It is normalized by leaders of the Congress party. It does raise red flags. It was Channi who said political drama, and it was Rahul Gandhi who said, देखो, पहले लोग डरते थे, अब नहीं डरते हैं, जूते फेंक रहे हैं. But it is a security breach. When it is normalized by leaders, isn't it dangerous?
I just have one question, that if they are saying security issue, then Gandhiji was killed. It was Nehruji's government. They lapsed at the security.
Well,
you don't blame the security there.
I'm completely out of
else.
time. But serious matter, I think a degree of normalization and civility needs to return in political language and in the political discourse. Is it too much to ask for? Well, let's wait and watch. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for joining me on the News Hour. Good night and be safe.